All right, here we go. Here's what this is going to be. This is my best of 2017. I haven't done this in a while, but it's the end of the year. And actually soon I got to do my best of everything that I listened to in 2017 in order. But what you're about to see now is my ranking of the albums that came out in 2017 that I listened to. I bought a lot more that came out in 2017. I just haven't listened to them yet. By the way, I don't know if you can see this. See that? This is as hairy as I'll ever be. That's a week. Tonight's my last night of vacation. I went to New Orleans and this grew for a week. No kidding. New Orleans, by the way. Oh man. You know, I travel somewhat, and New Orleans is the first place I've ever been where I'm like, I could live here. You know, I could live there. Like the music, and it's touristy, but not too touristy, and it's a lot like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but it's somewhat like where I grew up in St. Louis. It's a city on the Mississippi, and the architecture is kind of similar, and it felt a lot like home, but with a lot more music and a lot more open-mindedness. All right, anyway, that doesn't matter. Here's what we're gonna do. I bought a lot of records in 2017, but I only listened to 11 of them. So this is my ranking of the 11 records I listened to in 2017. Before I go any further, I had an album not my own, excuse me. There's a band I was a part of that had an album that came out this year, Romeo Riot. It's not in the ranking because I can't put it in the ranking. I can't put my own stuff in there, right? That's not cool. But, I should have been prepared for this. But, in case you want one, here it goes. That's the Romeo Riot record that I was part of that came out this year, and it got really good reviews. And it's on a bunch of top 10 lists for the year also. So it's pretty killer. It's one of the things I'm most proud of, certainly in terms of everything I've done outside of my own records. It's really good. So if you like, it's been compared a lot to Bon Jovi, Danger Danger kind of thing. So Romeo Riot, I would check that out. All right, done with the commercial. Here we go. Here's the 11 records I listened to from my favorite from my least favorite to my favorite. Number 11 starts with something that a lot of people have been waiting for forever. This record was number 1 in almost every country in the friggin' world. This was number 1 album all over the world when it came out. And I absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate this record. Here we go. Number 11, Now by Shania Twain. Anybody know she had a new record out this year? It went number 1 because she's Shania Twain, and because people that still buy albums are generally older people who are fans of hers, because Come On Over came out 20 years ago. Come On Over came out. I love Shania Twain. Woman and Me, Come On Over, and Up are all brilliant albums. Songwriting is brilliant. The production is brilliant. Everything about those records is so good and fun and happy, and I love those records. And this is not good. She wrote all the songs herself, so I applaud that, but they're really not much fun. Like, there's a few songs that are fun, but not fun like, Shania can be fun. Like, they're okay, but it really didn't work for me. Even the single Life's About to Get Good, it's just so kind of boring, and I just didn't like this. And I really wanted to like this because I'm a big advocate of Shania Twain, and I'll still buy anything she does because of how much I love the music she gave me when I was younger. But man, this wasn't good. It's mostly really draggy. There's hardly any real instruments on here. Hardly any musician. Like, it's just not good. So I didn't like that. Number 11, Now by Shania Twain. By the way, I know the setup here is different than most of my other videos, but my other room is just a mess. So we're gonna do it this way. Oh, by the way, forgive the shirt on the monitor there. It's just there to block the light, so the glare is not right on this video the whole time. So 11, Shania Twain, Now. Number 10. I know a lot of my rock friends dug this. I was so disappointed again. Walk the Earth by Europe. Yes, the band Europe still puts out records, and yes, they're still very good live. I dig the crap out of Europe, but man, I heard the first song, the title cut, Walk the Earth, and I went, that's cool. Yes, because I'm so disappointed in War of Kings. I didn't like War of Kings. I didn't like Bag of Bones, but I loved Last Look at Eden. But man, no, it really didn't do it for me. Just meandering, not very interesting songs, very 70s feel, and I dig that normally, but man, I went through this record over and over again. I couldn't remember how any of it went. So, sorry, number 10, Walk the Earth by Europe. I love Europe. I love Joey Tempest, but this just did not work for me. Sorry. Same thing, number 9, Jack Russell's Great White, He Saw It Coming. It was okay. Jack Russell certainly can still sing, but I just didn't care for the songs, really. The song He Saw It Coming was pretty good, and I actually like Godspeed, even though I know it's a weird kind of like a cappella things. And Spy vs. Spy is a killer song. But other than that, I don't think I liked anything here. I just kept kind of pulling them out and pulling them out. Oh, that's how I listen to records, by the way. I listen to albums. I need a haircut. Ugh. I listen to albums, and I just pull out songs that I don't like until I weed it down to the ones I like. That's why Shania Twain ended up with nothing. Europe ended up with one song I liked, and this ended up with like 3. So I bought it. I'm glad that Jack Russell's still being creative, but man, didn't do it for me. Number 8. Here's where I'm going to get a lot of hate from all my melodic rock friends. Everybody loved this record. I didn't really love it. Ride the Storm by Don Barnes. I know this is that big lost record that's been like in the vaults for 25 years or whatever. And the musicianship is great, and the performances are great, and the artwork is great, and it's all great, except the songs are hit and miss. They're not bad, but they're not amazing, really, for me. And to this day, what's that song that's After the Way? After the Way sounds just, this is a really deep reference, but the song After the Way sounds so much like Without You by Giant. Where would I be without you? Lost in... If you listen to that song, After the Way, and you're familiar with Where Would I Be Without You by Giant, that's where that song came from, because Dan Huff is a session musician on this record, and then a few years later, when they were doing the Giant record, they had to steal that melody, that chorus melody. I mean, it's directly from it. I'm not shitting on the record because of that. That's fine. I'm just saying overall, it just didn't do much for me. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it didn't blow me away. It was like, that's pretty good, you know. But that's kind of it. And I went through it. I must have listened to this record 10 times at least. And I can remember how Ride the Storm I Fall Back. I remember how that goes. But it just kind of went back and forth. Johnny Ain't So Cool and like that. But there you go. I mean, I'm glad it came out, but number 8 for me. Number 7, I don't have an album cover. It's by a band called The Midnight, and the album's called Nocturnal. It's almost not even an album. There's only 7 songs on it. This is there's no physical copy available. It's all digital download. That's why I don't have it. The Midnight I discovered because this year my brother turned me on to something called synthwave, which is primarily instrumental music that sounds like the 80s, with like very heavy synth element to it. And I really dug it. It kind of felt like Vince DiCola for me, and it really reminded me of my teenage years, and I really dig the synthwave stuff. So I dug into it, and one of the bands I really latched onto was The Midnight. And ironically, I dig The Midnight because they have a vocalist, and the singer's a great, he's got a great pure tone to his voice. I really love it. So this record's got 7 songs on it, and I like the first 4, and the last 3 are kind of but that means half of it's good. I don't know if anyone's going to like this, but if you dig the 80s soundtrack kind of stuff with the big synth and the big drums, and you like the Transformer soundtrack kind of stuff, you might want to check out The Midnight. They got, what's the other one's called? I'll never think of it right now. Days of Thunder is one of them, and I don't remember, but pretty cool stuff, man. I really do dig The Midnight. So there you go, number 7. Number 6 is Luminous by Seventh Heaven. If you don't know who Seventh Heaven is, they're kind of a Def Leppard kind of feel to them, kind of the background vocals, but they're pretty pop. I dug this, about half of this. Home is great. The first half of this record, again, first half is great. Home is great. Beautiful Life is great. Midwest Girl in the Summertime is great. And Contact I really dug. SOS is kind of sad. But that's kind of it. So that's like, what, 5 out of 10. So, you know, and the other songs weren't bad, but they didn't blow me away. So those are the 5 songs I pulled out and are going to take with me. So Luminous by Seventh Heaven. Seventh Heaven, by the way, great band. If you don't really know them and you dig like the Def Leppard kind of stuff, check out USA UK from 2008. Big, huge choruses. I really dig Seventh Heaven. They got great stuff. So number 6 for me is that. Number 5. Most of you guys might not know this guy, and that's a shame. Full disclosure, he's a buddy of mine, but he's really talented. This is Carter Halsey, Haunt Me. He put this record out this year, and he's the real deal, man. I went and saw him live when he was in town. He's a good guy. I met him at a bar in Joplin, Missouri when he was working there, and he ended up showing me some of his songs, and I was like, you're really good. He's really good. So he's a real-life 2017 singer-songwriter who's been out in the world for years, and he's the real deal. He's humping it. He's out there touring, making records, getting fans the way it's supposed to be. I'm actually pretty jealous of this guy that he's out there playing his own material, and even if he's scraping by making a living, he's doing it, and that's really cool. So check out Carter Halsey. He's doing what I wish I could be doing, and he's every bit as talented, if not more. One Foot in Front of the Other is a cool song. What Do You Do With That is a great song. Hang Around is a great song. Heart Still Broke. This is Emily. It's such a cool song. So I would highly recommend this. Check out this dude. At least give him a sample. Listen, don't even watch the rest of this video, okay? Because this is me meandering and navel gazing. This guy puts real heart and soul into what he's doing. Go to carterhalsey.com. I guess it must be that. Find this guy. Listen to some stuff. He's a good guy, and he's very talented, and he needs everybody's support. So if you support good music and artists and people chasing their dreams and that whole kind of let's go get them thing and the underdog, dude, Carter Halsey, good guy and a great musician, and he's talented. I kind of hate him a little bit. All right? Anyway, number 5 for me. All that being said, there were 4 records this year I liked more. Sorry. Number 4, Tokyo Motor Fist. Speaking of things that sound like Def Leppard. Now, I understand this is a project. They threw together Ted Poley and they threw together Steve Brown from Trickster. But Steve Brown's one of my favorite rock songwriters ever. Trickster Here is one of my favorite albums of all time. And actually, Trickster Human Era from 2 years ago was my favorite record of that entire year, no matter that I listened to. Great stuff. So Steve Brown is the real deal. So you got Steve Brown doing the writing, the guitar work, and the production. Who else is in this band that I'm missing? I know I should know the other guys. I'm sorry. And it's Def Leppard. I mean, Steve Brown tours with Def Leppard as the backup guitarist for Vivian Campbell when he can't make it. So Steve Brown is a huge Def Leppard fan at his show. So again, if you love Def Leppard, this is the record that Def Leppard should have made. The record that Bon Jovi should be making. This is a killer album. Tokyo Motor Fist. Don't really care for the name, and Ted Poley sounds great. This was a really good record for me. Big harmonies, big guitars, big hooks. Good stuff. So I dug the crap out of this. So in the melodic rock world, check it out. Number 4. Number 3 for me, I don't care if you hate me. It's very well documented that I dig this band, and I don't care if they're a punchline. I don't understand it. Nickelback. Nickelback is consistent, man. Feed the Machine, great record. Big guitars, big harmonies, big choruses. I just love it. This is great. Every time I go home from the river, this was a Must Be Nice song. Yeah, this was a great album. I went and saw. Now I'll give you this. If you want me to say something negative about Nickelback, if that'll make you feel better, I went and saw this tour. Never seen Nickelback before, and I thought with the breadth of Nickelback's material and their catalog, they had a lot of like high energy rockin' songs, and it'd be a good show. Man, I've rarely been so disappointed in a live show. Half their set was ballads, and then when they did Rockstar, they brought people up to sing it, and I understand they're probably sick of doing that song, and I understand Chad Kroger, probably sick of singing that song, but they brought up 2 people from the audience, and it was a drunk-ass girl and a drunk-ass guy who didn't know the words, and the drunk-ass girl was, I'm sorry, too big for the outfit she was wearing, and just kind of dancing. Oh my God, like people paid money. Maybe they want to hear the people who sang Rockstar sing Rockstar. Maybe it means something to them. They go to see them. That's what I want. If I went and saw, I mean, this is an extreme example, but I went and saw Don Henley, and he had some drunk asshole come up and sing Desperado, I'd be goddamn livid, because you sang that song, it means something to me. I didn't get that at all. It was sloppy, and then for some reason, in the middle of a song, they started doing Hotel California, and I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a secret. I hate Hotel California. Oh my God. I can't escape that song. You know, I mean, with what I do for a living, and I'm grateful for it, but Hotel California, to this day, man, I've gotten to the point, I just hate it. It's 6 minutes long, it's got 2 parts, it's very repetitive, and I've heard that song a zillion times, and I go to see a Nickelback concert, and they're like, on a dark desert highway, play one of your songs. But, there you go. I said something negative about Nickelback, but not this record. Good album. If you like the big guitars and you want some rock, there you go, Nickelback, number 3, Feed the Machine. Number 2, I had a hard time deciding between my first and second picks this year. But here's number 2, Randy Newman, Dark Matter. I really dug into Randy Newman for the first time this year, and I love it. from like a songwriter point of view. He writes songs that are different than everybody else. He writes songs about things that are like, what is that about? How awesome! So he's his own voice, he's his own thing, and I dig the originality. And this was a really good album. Not every song was great. I don't really like It's a Jungle Out There, which I've been told is the theme for Monk, which I gotta watch someday. And On the Beach I didn't like, but there's some interesting stuff. The Great Debate is good. Brothers is good. Putin is funny. And Lost Without You is just... Randy Newman has this way of writing songs about real things, about emotion, heart, family, love, loss. And he has a way of wording it that's very accessible and it hurts. And he sings it with heart. If you listen to his old stuff, man, he's singing stuff. It's just heartbreaking. And he seems like he means it. So Lost Without You is an incredibly sweet, heartbreaking song about an older woman whose husband is passing and she's talking to the kids. It's really well written and beautiful, and it hurts. And She Chose Me is just one of the sweetest songs ever. By the way, Randy Newman wrote, you probably know this, Randy Newman wrote When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2, which is one of the saddest songs of all time. But man, I dug it. From the singer-songwriter point of view kind of thing, I really, really enjoyed this album very much. I saw him live. He was fantastic live. He played, I'm not kidding, he played 38 songs. He sat at the piano by himself and just told stories and played songs, and it was wonderful. He's the real deal, man. Real singer-songwriter's been around forever, putting out new material. I really dug this record. Not all my friends are going to like it, but I did. There you go. My number one album this year. Anybody know? Anybody got a guess? Most of you guys probably don't even buy albums anymore. But I've talked about this band my whole life, and they've been a big part of my life since I was 9 years old. And they put out a good record. Number one album this year that was released this year, not necessarily my favorite of the year that I came in contact with, but of this year. Don't Let Up by Night Ranger. Don't Let Up by Night Ranger, man. They did well here. They delivered here. I'm very happy. Somehow, some way, running out of time. Truth I didn't like. Day and Night's cool. Don't Let Up's cool. Fool Again. It's really good. There's only like 3 songs on here I didn't really care for, but it made up for it by the ones I really love. Nothing Left of Yesterday's cool. Jamie's cool. I mean, it's great. It's a very good album. So, if you ever love Night Ranger and you kind of lost track of them, it's solid. It's solid stuff. They sound good. I went and saw them over at Epcot. They played at Epcot right when this came out, and I brought it with me because I thought I'd be like, yeah, I support new music. You know, like you bought a new record and I bought it, you know, and they're in the middle of a song and I decided to be brave and walk up, march up to the stage, and I held this up to the band like, yeah, you look at it, because they were talking about it. They said, we just put out a new record. So I thought, cool, I'll go show it to them, you know, and it was uncomfortable. They didn't know me. I was dressed in all black and I was marching up to the stage. I'm 6 foot and I'm kind of scary looking. So the security guy kind of stopped me and the band kind of ignored me, and then I kind of just felt like an asshole and I was kind of embarrassed. But there you go. Number one record for me this year that came out this year, 2017, is Don't Let Up by Night Ranger. Night Ranger is almost always goddamn good and one of my favorite bands of all time. There's other things online I put about how much I love this band, so there you go. If anything came out this year that I did not mention, like Heat or, God, what else? There's so many more that I just didn't listen to yet. So I'm not saying that these are better than anything else that you heard this year that you might love. I just didn't get it. Or I got it and I didn't listen to it yet, which is very possible. So there you go. Those are my records for 2011. Shania Twain Now, 11. Europe, Walk the Earth. Jack Russell's Great White. He Saw It Coming. Don Born's is number 8. The Midnight is number 7. Seventh Heaven is number 6. Carter Halsey, number 5. Check this guy out. Number 4, Tokyo Motor Fist. Awesome. Number 3, Nickelback. 2, Randy Newman. And number 1, Night Ranger. There you go. That's what I got. Who knows what's going to happen in 2018 in music, in life. It's not a good year this year. All right, that's it. 20 minutes. Holy God. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.